Are behind us, that does not mean we are necessarily stress-free going into the new year. Joining us with some tips on how to prevent us from pulling our hair out is Senia Tuominen, lead acupuncturist at Healing InSight. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Leah.
Where do we start? What are the signs of chronic stress?
Well, it's very common this time of year that people are thinking, well, what can I do to feel as good as possible in the new year? And I always answer that the best thing you can do is to relieve stress because it has so many effects on our body. So, well, what are some of the signs of chronic stress and what can we do about it? That's what I'd like to talk about today.
Yeah, what are some of the signs?
Well, one common sign is to have poor digestion. So bloating and fatigue are really common signs of that stress is affecting your digestion. Okay. And in fact, I'm very familiar with this because I spent years where every time that I would get stressed out, I'd get super bloated and my pants wouldn't fit. It was horrible. So there's a couple of simple tips that people can use to reduce the effects of stress.
Please show
on
us,
your
yes,
digestion.
because we know a lot of times the holidays we're so busy taking care of everyone else in our lives. Now's the time that you're getting very busy,
right,
taking care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
So what are some of the tips that we could use?
So one of the things is to reduce sugar because that creates a lot of extra stress on our digestive tracts.
Okay.
But another one that people often don't think about is to reduce cold and raw foods during the winter because it takes a lot of energy to digest these foods. Instead, people should be eating more warmed, cooked foods, a lot more soups and stews, things that are very easy to digest because they're kind of pre-digested already.
That's interesting. So it's not just comfort food in that, you know, reminds us of mom's home cooking.
Right.
There's actually a digestive reason for it.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
And then oftentimes people find that if they're sensitive to wheat or dairy that they'll have more digestive stress. And so working with a practitioner to identify what sorts of foods are problematic for them. So for me, like I find I can eat a little bit of wheat, but when I eat a lot of dairy, then I definitely feel the effects of that.
And what are these vitamins and things over here?
Right. So another sign of chronic stress is to have PMS. And a lot of women say, oh gosh, that week before my period, I feel like a completely different person. I feel very stressed out. I'm really irritable. I'm really uncomfortable. And herbal medicine is the answer for that because herbs can help to regulate your menstrual cycle. And in fact, in Chinese medicine, we've been using herbs for 2,000 years to help to reduce the effects of PMS. So when women use herbal medicine, they often say that they don't even know when their period is coming because their PMS signs are so significantly reduced.
Under that blanket of herbal medicine, what specific herbs should people be looking for when they're looking at these bottles?
So one of the formulas that we use a lot for just, generally helping somebody's menstrual cycle is called Free and Easy Wanderer. And one of the main herbs that's in that is bupleurum, and it's really great for helping to regulate the menstrual cycle. But then we'll often use different herbs with each week of the cycle in order to adjust what's happening with the different hormone levels.
What about eating meat? You said that eating meat is not necessarily a bad thing.
Oh, definitely not. Yep, so eating meat is great because it gives you a lot of great protein and gives you a lot of energy. So protein is one of the main factors for creating alertness and creating dopamine in your body. And so if you eat enough meat, then you generally feel a lot more awake. And if people aren't eating very much meat, then they tend to hit the wall at some point during the day, or they feel really exhausted in the afternoon.
And last but not least, the acupuncture, which we know is your area of expertise. You're going to actually show on me. I'm going to be the guinea pig for this one because I've never had it done before.
So great.
So where do we start?
So I'll have you have a seat.
Okay.
So acupuncture is really great for dealing with both anxiety and headaches, which are really, really common.
I have a lot of headaches, yes.
Oh, you do? Then this is perfect for you. And especially when people are dealing with like chronic anxiety, this is one of the greatest treatments that they can do. So,
and we already did the alcohol swab, so we already cleaned the spots.
We already cleaned you. We already cleaned me. I'm just going to kind of walk you through what it is that we do. Now, with acupuncture, what we do is we take very, very fine needles. You can see they're just a couple of hairs thick, and we insert them into different acupuncture points in the body that are known to help to reduce stress and also to help to calm the body down.
Okay.
So we're going to start actually with a point on the top of your head.
Okay.
Now this is a really great point for helping to relieve stress, and people often say when they have this point in that they feel their whole body relax. They just totally settle down.
I didn't even feel it. Is it in?
It is in. It's super easy, right?
I didn't feel it whatsoever.
I know.
We're running out of time, so we got to do the last one really quickly.
So another point that we'll do is here in the wrist, and this point helps to calm the heart down. It's also a really great point for helping with nausea, which can often happen with stress as well. So this is a point that people can massage if they get motion sickness.
All very good tips. We thank you so much. We wish we had more time, but we thank you. And of course, you're located on Grand Avenue in St. Paul.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in. Hopefully